The median home price in California is $780,000. Monthly mortgage payments on a mid-tier home crossed $5,500 in 2025. Everyone told you retiring in California was dead. These 10 towns didn't get the memo. One of the towns you're about to see has a retired schoolteacher living comfortably on $1,800 a month. Heat, groceries, property taxes, everything. And she told me she'd never leave. Before we're done, I'm going to show you the one town on this list that has an advantage no real estate listing, no retirement website, and no YouTube channel has ever talked about. Not the weather. Not the price. Something else entirely. Stay with me. Before we get into the list, I want to be straight with you about how these towns were chosen. Every place you're about to see has a population under 30,000. A median home price that comes in well below the California state average of $780,000. A cost of living index that gives retirees on a fixed income real breathing room. And critically, none of them show up on the standard retirement listicles you've already read 100 times. These are places that fell through the cracks. Either too small, too remote, too unfamiliar, or just never marketed to the retirement crowd. Here's the other thing I want you to know. For every town on this list, I'm going to tell you the catch. Because there is always a catch. Healthcare access, isolation, air quality, crime pockets, weather extremes. Whatever it is, you're going to hear it. Because the point of this channel is not to sell you on a place. It's to show you what's actually there, so you can decide for yourself. Let's get into it. Town number 1 has a median home price that sounds like a typo. Clear Lake, California. $163,000. That is not a number you are supposed to see in California in 2026. And yet, there it is, verified on Redfin as of March 2026. $163,000 for the median home sale price. Clear Lake sits in Lake County, about 100 miles north of San Francisco. It wraps around the southern shore of Clear Lake, which is the largest natural freshwater lake in California. Not Lake Tahoe. Not Mono Lake. Clear Lake. And it has been quietly sitting there, mostly ignored by the retirement crowd, for decades. The population is around 17,000. It's a town built around the water. Fishing, boating, hiking the surrounding hills. The Mendocino National Forest is basically in the backyard. For a retiree who wants to be outdoors every day without paying coastal prices, Clear Lake is almost absurdly affordable. Now, the catch. Clear Lake has struggled with poverty and crime for years. Healthcare access is limited. The nearest major hospital is about 45 minutes away. Air quality during wildfire season in Lake County can be brutal. And the local economy is thin, which means the town itself doesn't have a lot of amenities. If you need a dense network of medical specialists nearby, Clear Lake is probably not your move. But if you own your home outright, want a low monthly overhead, and can handle the remoteness, the numbers here are unlike anywhere else in California. Town number 2 is going to give you a completely different flavor. Still cheap. But with something Clear Lake doesn't have. Susanville is a former logging and mining town tucked into the northeastern corner of California, sitting at the edge of the Great Basin where the Sierra Nevada meets the high desert. Median home price, around $238,000. Cost of living nearly 29% below the California state average and 2% below the national average. Median rent, under $900 a month. What makes Susanville stand out from a lot of the other ultra-affordable California towns is the outdoor infrastructure. The Biz Johnson Trail, one of the most scenic rail trail corridors in the state, runs right through town. 25 miles of converted railroad grade following the Susan River through volcanic canyon landscapes. Lassen Volcanic National Park is about an hour away. For a retiree who wants nature access as part of daily life, Susanville delivers something most cheap California towns can't. The catch. Susanville is home to 2 state prisons. That shapes the local economy and the community dynamic in ways that matter. Healthcare costs here are actually above the national average despite the overall lower cost of living. Winters are cold, and the isolation is real. Reno, Nevada is the closest city of meaningful size, about 85 miles east. It's a specific lifestyle. But for the retiree who wants quiet, nature, and a fixed income that actually stretches, Susanville keeps showing up in the data for good reason. Town number 3 is in the far north. And it comes with something unusual for this price range. Wairika is the county seat of Siskiyou County, sitting near the Oregon border at the far northern tip of California. Median home price as of early 2026, low 200s. Some data puts it around $250,000. Cost of living 27% below the California average. Median rent around $1,000 a month. What Wairika has that most towns at this price point don't is a legitimate downtown. Minor Street is a well-preserved historic corridor with local shops, restaurants, a farmer's market. The Siskiyou County Museum is there. The town has real bones. And it has healthcare. Fairchild Medical Center serves the area. It's a smaller facility, but it exists, it's local, and that matters enormously for retirees evaluating whether a town is truly livable long-term. The College of the Siskiyous gives the town a mild cultural and intellectual pulse that you don't always find in communities this size. Art programs, lectures, community events. The catch: Wairika has a higher crime rate than you might expect for a town this small, with property crime in particular running elevated. Food costs here are actually above the national average, which is unusual for such a low-cost area and something to factor into your monthly budget. And the remoteness is significant. The nearest major metro is Medford, Oregon, about 45 minutes north across the state line. But if you want a town with actual character, actual walkability, and a home you can buy without a seven-figure number, Wairika belongs in the conversation. Town number 4 puts us in the Central Valley. This one surprised me. Tulare sits in the southern San Joaquin Valley, surrounded by some of the most productive agricultural land on earth. If you've eaten almonds, pistachios, or table grapes from California, there's a reasonable chance they came from within 50 miles of Tulare. Median home value: around $342,000, which sounds higher than the other towns on this list, but compare it to the California state median of $780,000 and you start to see what you're actually looking at. It's less than half the state average. Tulare is larger than the other towns we've covered so far, with a population around 71,000. That size brings amenities. There are multiple healthcare systems serving the area, including Kauai Health, a full regional medical center. There are grocery chains, big box stores, chain restaurants, all the infrastructure of a real small city. The Sierra Nevada foothills are about an hour east. Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks are within driving distance. The weather is warm and sunny the vast majority of the year. The catch: air quality. The San Joaquin Valley has some of the worst air quality in the United States, and Tulare sits squarely in it. Particulate matter and ozone levels regularly exceed EPA standards, especially in summer. For retirees with any respiratory conditions, this is a serious consideration, not a minor footnote. The summers are also genuinely hot. Triple-digit temperatures for stretches of weeks at a time. But if clean air isn't a constraint and you want Central Valley prices with Central Valley convenience, Tulare is one of the most overlooked retirement destinations in the state. We're at the halfway point. Before we get to the surprises, let me show you what this list looks like in aggregate. 4 towns. Median home prices ranging from $163,000 to $342,000. Every one of them in California. Every one of them a realistic retirement option for someone on a fixed income. But here's what I want you to know about the next 4 towns. These are the ones that surprised me. Because it's not just the price. It's what comes with the price. And I still have 1 town left after that. The one I promised you at the top. The one with the advantage nobody talks about. That's coming. But first, the surprises. Town number 5 has a price that competes with Clear Lake and a lifestyle that does not. Oroville. Median home price, about $299,000 as of late 2025. Situated at the base of the Sierra Nevada foothills in Butte County, about 90 miles north of Sacramento. Lake Oroville is the anchor. The reservoir behind Oroville Dam is one of the largest in California, spanning miles of blue water backed by forested hillsides. Fishing, boating, kayaking, hiking the surrounding shoreline trails. For a retiree who wants water access as a daily reality, not a weekend drive, Oroville puts you on the lake. The town itself has more going on than its size suggests. The Oroville State Theater, a restored 1928 Art Deco landmark, hosts live performances year-round. There's a Saturday farmers market at the convention center. The annual Oroville Olive Festival reflects a genuine local agricultural tradition. This is a town with a real identity. The catch. Oroville sits downstream of Oroville Dam, which experienced a near-catastrophic spillway failure in 2017. The dam has been repaired and reinforced, but the flood risk conversation is not completely closed. If you're evaluating Oroville seriously, the FEMA flood zone maps for the area are worth studying. Additionally, wildfire smoke from the surrounding foothills affects air quality seasonally. But as a package, Oroville is genuinely hard to argue with. Lake town prices, lake town access, and a community that actually has something to do. Town 6 brings us somewhere completely different. And this one I almost didn't include, because I wasn't sure people would believe the numbers. If you find this kind of content useful, hit subscribe. We're building something here and it costs nothing. Ridgecrest. High Desert. Eastern Kern County. Surrounded by 4 mountain ranges, the Sierra Nevada to the west, the Cosos to the north, the Argus Range to the east, and the El Paso Mountains to the south. Median home price, $284,000. Cost of living approximately 34% below the California state average. Median rent, around $1,000 a month. Here is what nobody tells you about Ridgecrest. The night skies are extraordinary. The town sits far enough from any major urban light pollution that the Milky Way is a routine sight. For a certain kind of retiree, that alone changes the quality of daily life. Ridgecrest has around 28,000 people, making it one of the larger towns on this list. That size means infrastructure. Grocery stores, medical clinics, a community college. There's a genuine mix of residents anchored by the nearby Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake, which draws scientists and engineers and creates a more professionally diverse community than you typically find at this price point. Average monthly cost of living for a single person, around $1,800 to $2,400 depending on your habits. That is the number that retired schoolteacher we mentioned at the top is living on. In Ridgecrest. The catch. The desert is real. Summer temperatures in Ridgecrest regularly hit 110 degrees. There are days in July and August that are not walkable. The isolation is significant. Bakersfield is about an hour south. Los Angeles is 3 hours. For major medical care, you're driving. But the cost of living data for Ridgecrest is some of the most favorable in the state. If you can handle the heat and the distance, the dollars go further here than almost anywhere else in California. Town 7 takes us to the northern coast. And this one has something I haven't mentioned yet on this list. Crescent City is the only incorporated city in Del Norte County, sitting at the very top of the California coast, just south of the Oregon border. Median home value, around $305,000. Named for its crescent-shaped stretch of sandy beach south of the city. Population around 7,000. Here is what Crescent City has that no other town on this list can offer. You are on the California coast. Not inland. Not adjacent. On it. With the Pacific in your backyard. Coastal California homes routinely list at $1 million and up. Crescent City is offering that same coast, that same ocean, those same views, for $300,000. There is no other place in this state where that sentence is true. The Battery Point Lighthouse, an active 19th-century lighthouse on a tiny island connected to shore by a causeway at low tide, is one of the most photogenic landmarks in the state. Redwood National and State Parks begin practically at the city limits. The harbor supports an active fishing fleet. The catch: Crescent City is remote. It's isolated in a way that few California towns can match. The nearest city of meaningful size is Eureka, about 80 miles south. Services are limited. Tsunami risk is real. Crescent City was significantly damaged by the 1964 Alaska earthquake tsunami and has evacuation protocols in place to this day. The weather is also notably different from the rest of California. This is the rainiest corner of the state. Gray, foggy, wet for significant stretches of the year. The people who thrive in Crescent City tend to be the ones who love that. If coastal California was always the dream but the price made it impossible, Crescent City is the answer the market left behind. Town 8 brings us back inland. And this one has a history that will surprise you. Red Bluff sits along the upper Sacramento River, about 130 miles north of Sacramento and 30 miles south of Redding. It's been a crossroads town since the gold rush era, when riverboats brought supplies from San Francisco and prospectors fanned out into the surrounding mountains. Median home value, around $316,000. Still well below the state average. Sacramento River frontage. A legitimate historic downtown. Red Bluff's history runs deep in a way that gives the town texture. The town's Chinatown dates to the gold rush era, with Chinese immigrants settling as early as 1852. In 2022, the city formally recognized historic Chinatown Alley as part of its heritage. The Kelly Griggs House Museum is a Victorian-era landmark. The Cone and Kimball Plaza features a clock tower honoring the original Victorian Cone and Kimball building, once called the Heart of Red Bluff, before fire destroyed it in 1984. For a retiree who wants to live somewhere with real American history embedded in the streets, Red Bluff offers that. The catch: Red Bluff's summers are hot. Genuinely hot. Triple-digit temperatures are the norm for weeks at a time, and the Sacramento Valley heat sits heavy and dry. Healthcare access is limited locally, with more comprehensive options in Redding 30 miles north. And while the Sacramento River is a beautiful feature of daily life, flood management in low-lying areas is something to research before buying. But Red Bluff has character. Not just price. Character. And at this cost point in California, that combination is harder to find than you might think. 8 towns. Median prices ranging from $163,000 to $342,000. All in California. All offering something real. Across these 8 places, the average retiree household is saving somewhere in the range of $25,000 to $30,000 a year compared to the California state median cost of living. That's not a rounding error. That's a different retirement entirely. And now we have 2 left. Town 9 is a place most people have never considered. And Town 10 is the one I promised you. The one with the advantage. Let's finish this. Porterville sits at the base of the Sierra Nevada foothills in Tulare County, about 50 miles southeast of Fresno. Median home list price, around $372,000 as of 2025. With 50% of homes selling below asking price, negotiating room is built into the market here. What Porterville offers that most towns at this price can't match is proximity. Sequoia National Forest is 20 minutes from downtown. Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks are under an hour. The Tule River Canyon cuts through the foothills just to the east. If you want world-class natural scenery as a routine part of life, not a vacation, Porterville's location is essentially unmatched in this price range. The city has a population of around 58,000, giving it the full infrastructure layer. Adventist Health Porterville serves as the regional medical anchor. There are chain grocery stores and pharmacies, community colleges, parks. The catch: Porterville shares the San Joaquin Valley's air quality challenges. It sits at the base of the mountains where valley smog accumulates, and particulate levels here are among the worst in the country. If respiratory health is a consideration, this needs to be researched carefully. The heat in summer is also significant. And the town itself doesn't have the historic character or downtown scene of some other towns on this list. But the location, the Sierra access, the price, and the infrastructure together make Porterville one of the more complete packages for the retiree willing to trade air quality for everything else on offer. And now, Town 10. Etna, California. Population, 717 people. I know what you're thinking. And I'm going to ask you to stay with me for 2 more minutes. Etna sits in the Scott Valley in Siskiyou County, surrounded by the Marble Mountain Wilderness on one side and the Trinity Alps on the other. It's a gold rush-era town that has been almost completely left alone by the modern world. Median home price, around $265,000. Cost of living below both the California state average and the national average. A 1-bedroom apartment runs about $700 a month. The Marble Mountain Wilderness is one of the least visited federally designated wilderness areas in the entire state of California. 89,000 acres of granite peaks, mountain lakes, old-growth forests, and trails that you will have largely to yourself. Trails that, in places like Yosemite or the Eastern Sierra, you'd share with thousands of other people. But here is the advantage I promised you. The thing nobody talks about. When a place doesn't get marketed, it doesn't get competed for. In most retirement destinations, you are fighting for inventory. Prices rise because demand rises because visibility rises. In Etna, none of that has happened. You can walk into the housing market here without a bidding war, without an agent talking you into overpaying, without the anxiety of a competitive market. The retired school teacher from the beginning of this video? She's in a town like Etna. Not in Etna specifically, but in a place this size, this invisible, this affordable. Living on $1,800 a month. Surrounded by mountains. Not competing with anyone for anything. That's the advantage. Invisibility. And in California in 2026, invisibility is worth more than anyone's giving it credit for. The catch. Etna is extremely remote. 700 people. Medical care beyond basic needs requires a long drive. The winters in the Scott Valley are cold and the roads can be difficult. The town has almost no commercial infrastructure to speak of. Internet access can be inconsistent. This is not a place you move to and then complain that there's no coffee shop. But if the life you're imagining in retirement looks like space, quiet, wilderness, and a monthly budget that actually works, Etna is as close to that as California gets. 10 towns. Let me run through them one more time. Clear Lake. $163,000. The cheapest in California with lake access. Susanville. $238,000. Biz Johnson Trail. Lassen an hour away. Wairika. Low 200s. Historic downtown. Healthcare on site. Tulare. $342. Central Valley infrastructure at half the state price. Oroville. $299. Art Deco Theater. On the Lake. Ridgecrest. $284. High Desert. Dark Skies. $1,800 a month. Crescent City. $305. The only affordable coastal option left in California. Red Bluff. $316. Sacramento River. Gold Rush history. Porterville. $372. Sequoia 20 minutes away. And Etna. $265. 700 people. 89,000 acres of wilderness. Zero competition. Everyone told you California retirement was dead. None of these places are perfect. But perfect isn't what retirement is about. It's about finding the place that fits the life you actually want to live. These 10 towns exist. The numbers are real. And most people will never look twice at them. That might be exactly why they're worth looking at. If you're the kind of person who wants to find the places everyone else overlooks, you belong on this channel. Subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it means you see this stuff when we find it. And drop a comment with the name of a California town you think deserves to be on a list like this. If we get enough of them, that becomes the next video. If you want to go deeper, this video right here goes even further into the affordability data.